Hello everyone, and welcome to Feldynn's Favourite 5, Small Tractors of FS19. Well, good morning everyone, and before we go too far, I just wanted to say a quick shout out to a fellow YouTuber friend by the name of Brian Baru Royalty, who kind of put the seed of an idea in my head to do this by way of laying down, very gently, a nice gauntlet of a challenge, so to speak. So yeah, do go check out Brian Baru Royalty. There's a link in the description and everything. So cheers mate, great idea. Today you find us on the Old Giants map of Felsbrunn, one of the first maps that came out with FS19. It is slightly tweaked in the sense of this is the starting farm area, but we've paved over a little bit of it here, and I got a few sheds from my extensive shed collection. And within these, as you'll see over the next few course of this episode, next few minutes, something like that, some words that make sense, what we're going to do today is have a look at my top 5 favourite tractors, or favourite small tractors of Farm Sim 19. And it might be a little different from some, but yeah, let's have a look. Now, technically, the first one we're going to look at over in this shed, or this sort of Nissan hut, whatever airplane hangar shelter thing this is, technically this is actually 2 tractors, but I'm counting it as one because it's kind of 2 different models of the same thing. So let's open the door and see what's here. There we have it. Now, on the left we have the MB Trac 800-900, and that is by Bremy 456 featuring Maxter. And just next to it we have the MB Trac 1000-1100, also by Bremy 456 featuring Maxter. Now, these are essentially the same, well, slightly different versions of the same tractor, or slightly different models in the line, sort of thing. So we'll start out with the 800, getting it from this side so we don't do anything silly. Now it's a lovely little tractor this. Looks like this one was from the mid-80s, so let's start her up and see how she sounds. Ah, very nice, and you can tell that it's obviously an 80s tractor by the interior here. And it's got a neat little section on the back there. You can actually put a weight on there that it comes with as part of the pack. So let's drive this out here and just have a look at it zooming around the little car park area. It's a really nice little tractor this. Very capable. Starts out at around 80 horsepower I think, and goes up to a whacking great big 135. But it's pretty cheap too. The base model is only like 30 grand I think, 30,000. It's got a fair bit of pulling power to it, drives nice. Turning circle isn't as good as some other small tractors, but it's a very capable little thing this. I do like it a lot, as you can tell, because it's made it onto my favourites list. So let's just park it up over here for now, and run over and grab the other one. Now they do sound slightly different. This one here I want to say is an 80 horsepower version, might be a touch more. But this one's slightly different, being the 1000 to 1100 range. There we go, it's got a slightly different sound to it, and this one is a later model with an intercooler. And once we get out of here, a little bit on the bouncy side, as you can see, it's got a spraying setup on it. Now this Hardi tank fits both of these 2 tractors, fits on either one, and it'll take fertilizer or herbicide, or liquid fertilizer of course, and it will work with any sprayer so far as I'm aware. All the ones I've used it with have worked fine. Obviously it's a Hardi brand, so it kind of matches the Hardi. And you can see on this we've got dual wheels. Now they do actually count as narrows as well, because the inside one is narrow. So even though the outside technically isn't narrow, it won't destroy the crop. Because we'll just run over this crop right here in fact. Yep, can see, it doesn't destroy it, which is very handy. It's a little bit of a wobbly beast with this setup, but it's got a whacking great big 1600 kilo weight on the front to offset all this. It's not actually filled up yet, but very capable little machine, this one. And in fact they both are, and this one only costs 45 grand to begin with, and goes all the way up to 180 horsepower, I think. Let's have a quick look at them in the shop. Just turn that off there so we don't run out of fuel or anything. But yes, to the shop we go. Okay, so here we are at the MB Trac 800-900, and you can see there the base price is just 30 grand. Now it's got a few different colour choices, all the good stuff through here. These are all, I think, Mercedes type colours, special edition ones, that sort of thing. And it's got a good selection of tyres. They all come with narrow tyres. This one I particularly like, the 800, because the Michelin's, I think it is, it's got some diddy little narrow tyres. They are very small and very cute. And it can take front 3-point. And it's got a few other options here and there. You can actually put folding windows on it as well. You can have the front as a folding one, or the rear as a folding one, or both. And they do fold, and can be quite interesting, a bit of airflow through. It's got a few other things, but it does take a front loader as well, which is very handy. So you can pop one of them on. Now this one it starts at 75 horsepower. That's the one that we've got out there, the 800. And it goes all the way up to, actually we might have the 80. Oh no, we do have that one. It makes a few changes visually as well. So we got 75 horsepower, 80 horsepower, 85, 90, 115 because of a boost, and the 900, I think, oh no, that one's 125 horsepower, and the full one with the intercooler goes all the way up to 135, and you can see on the side there it's the 900 Turbo Intercooler Edition. And for a 135 horsepower tractor, it only costs, if I just get that out the wheel there, only costs 66 grand new. That's not bad, and that's got a few options on it as well. So, with just the engine, that's going to cost about 60 odd grand. That's not bad for 135 horsepower. So let's hop over to the 1100 quick, which is right next to it here. And again, this one's got a lot of the similar colours. There's, I think we've got it in the white with some yellow on it, but there's all sorts of different options you got here. And let's change that to the Silver Distel one. I do like that colour, that sort of sandy silver metallic colour. It's very cool. And obviously you can set the wheels to sort of mix and match to some degree. And again, this one has a lot of similar settings. You've got a wide track on this one, which is interesting. It's for potatoes. And narrow tyres, of course, there. And then those are the dual narrows. Well, care wheels plus wides, it says, but as you saw, they don't destroy crop, which is very handy. And then care wheels for beets. And again, all the similar sort of stuff. You can pop a front hydraulic 3-point on there, and it's got weights and stuff too. And same as the other one, you got some various cosmetic things, and front loader as well. And the engine on this one starts at 95 horsepower. And let me just turn some. Oh yeah, it's the colours do cost quite a bit, unfortunately. So if we set those back to standard and reset the tyres, get rid of the weight. So we are almost there. What do I put on? Anything else? Oh, I changed the wheel colour, that's what it was. Yep, so 45 grand, straight up, nothing done to it. We got a 95 horsepower tractor. That ain't bad, if you're honest. And scoot along through there. Yeah, it goes to 100 horsepower, 110, 140, all the way up to 180, the turbo intercooler version. And that's only 75 grand. It's just straight out the box. You pop a few more things on it, and you're still going to end up with 180 horsepower tractor for sub 100 grand. You really can't beat that. That's a probably good deal, that. So yeah, let's get back to the tractors. Okay, so here we are in this. And yep, so that's, like I say, these are in no particular order, but I guess you could count that as the number 5 choice, and number 6, I suppose. Yeah, honourable mention to one of these. But they are cracking little tractors. I really do like those a lot. And let's see, where do we want to go next? Let's see what's behind door number 2. Let's go for this one. And I'm not doing it just because it's right next to the other one. I'm doing it because it is... What is it? That's the question. It is an Ursus C3120. Now, this might look similar to another tractor, the base game Armour Trac, I believe it is. Let's hop in this and see how it sounds. Okay. There we go, nice, clean, smooth sounding engine there. A decent interior. Quite a capable looking, fairly modern tractor. Let's give it a ride out here. Have a look at it in the sun. There we go. It's a fairly simple, plain little compact small tractor. I say compact, it's a small tractor, yeah. It's got a pretty decent turning circle on it. Gets up to 26 miles an hour. Bit of a lean there. But yeah, this particular tractor, the C120, and there's also a C130 version. You've got this one's 100 horsepower, the other is 125, I think. It's even got a little AC cooler on the top there. This is obviously it's an Ursus tractor, so that's from Poland. And just to show that there is crop destruction on, back up here a little bit, and you can see we did crush that bit of a crop. So those on the MB track really are care wheels as such. But yeah, this is a lovely little tractor, and the story behind this is it was made in partnership with the Turkish producers of Armour Trac as a sort of joint venture between them and Ursus. And so they basically, I guess, shared a lot of parts and tech and stuff. Because if you look at that, and then we hop into the store quick, I'll show you the Armour Trac. That's the Armour Trac there. It does look a little bit similar, doesn't it? Although it's got a very surprised face on it there. It's shocked that we've come into the store to look at it. But yeah, this the 1104 was the Armour Trac version of the Ursus C3120. And yeah, so that was a joint venture between them. As you can see, it's even got the same sort of AC unit on the top, and very, very similar looking tractor. So yeah, let's hop over to the C3120, still remember what it is, and have a look at that. Okay, yeah, here we are. You can see this has the same surprised looking face on it, but this is definitely the Ursus version. And this particular mod is by, let's see, a Marcello 22. And, oh yeah, it's actually 115 horsepower for the base model. For some reason I thought it was just 100 even, or whatever it was I'd said. But yeah, it's fairly capable little tractor, this. It's got the usual sort of basic wheel options. It can actually go to twins, and doesn't look half bad with those on it either. And narrows, of course, which are always handy. And this one doesn't come as standard with a 3-point. Best you can get is weights. Obviously there are mods that you can use to get something if you want one. You may have to put that on to get the trailer hitch there. But yeah, this it does take a front loader as well, so that's always helpful. And yeah, you've got the 3120 and the 3130, that's the 125 horsepower version. Obviously being a new tractor, this one comes in a bit more expensive. It's drop some of these things back off. The standard price was, I want to say, 92 grand, something like that, or 93,400, yeah. And with the slightly higher horsepower, you'd spend another 12 grand. So is it worth it? Yeah, it swings and roundabouts, but still, for 100,000 $105,400 tractor, 125 horsepower. Not bad. You know, it's a pretty modern looking unit, that one. But again, very nice, capable tractor, smooth driving. Definitely one of my favourites. And technically you could include the Armour Trac because they are basically the same tractor. I just happen to like this one a bit better. Possibly because it's an Ursus version, it's got some more options on it being a mod, but yeah, that's a nice little tractor there. So, back to the sheds and we'll see what's next. Okay, let's just hop out of this now. What shed do we want to go for now? Let's see, so we've got a choice. I think we're going to go for this one in the middle. Now, this has two versions of the same tractor in it, just to sort of highlight some differences. So let's have a look and see what we got. A very creaky door. Okay, here we go. We have a Deutz-Fahr. This is the AgroStar / DX 461. Well, it's actually the Deutz-Fahr DX / AgroStar Series 4. And this mod was by Puma, or is by Puma. And you can see this version is the AgroStar, and this is just the DX, and that's a turbo. So let's hop in this, have a quick drive out, see what it does. It's got a very sort of 80s, 90s style dashboard there. Very nice looking little tractor on the inside though. And this bunch, this is probably my favourite little tractor that we've got out. I mean, it's a tough choice between all of these five, and there's a lot of other small tractors too besides. But this one particularly, I do like. It's a little diddy tractor. It starts out at about 70 odd horsepower, and it only costs just under 15 grand. But it's got a wicked little turning circle on it. It's very, very cool. And you can put all sorts of things on this. Like here we got the front loader, not front loader, the 3-point link, and the some wide Nokian tyres on there. Yeah, let's just pick this up, grab this as well, just so you can see it with a little bit of equipment. But yeah, I mean, it's a smashing little tractor, this, and it really does. It's like my staple, it's my go-to small tractor, particularly because of the price, but also because of just the way it handles. Drives very, very nicely. Give it a quick run through here. It doesn't have a problem doing anything. Good old 3-metre cultivator there. We all like those. But yeah, let's just drop that off. Drop the weight off there as well. And see how many tractors could get out of a spot that time. Yeah, not all that many, I'd wager. But yeah, this is a smashing little tractor. This, I really do like it a lot. And we shall zip over here and park up next to the Ursus. And then go over and get the other one. But yeah, I mean, that's a lovely little tractor. Very, very nice. As the small tractors go, like I say, it is my favourite. It starts at, I think, 75 horsepower. Interior's similar on this one. I mean, it's basically the same thing, just with a different engine in it, I think. This version has some whacking great big tyres on it, though. And forestry cage, as you can see there, and the front loader with the old log fork. But yeah, I had to show this one off because it's just got these ridiculous flotation tyres. But again, even with those on it, it's got this wicked little turning circle. It's a very, very nice tractor. This version, the DX 478, there you can see on the side, that is, I want to say 100 horsepower even. So for a little tractor, 100 horsepower, this one really goes up. It goes up there on the list because it's dirt cheap. It's a very, very capable little thing, this. So let's turn that off and go have a look at it in the shop. Okay, there are two versions of this tractor, in fact. There's the AgroStar Standard and the AgroStar Gear Shift. The one I had was just the Standard, but let's go in and take a quick look here. So yeah, now it has, it's just under 15 grand, straight out the box. Oh, it's 88 horsepower it starts with. For some reason I thought it was less. And just zoom out a bit again. You've got a selection of different wheel colours and main colours here too. And, the design colour, that's the forestry cage. Comes in assorted metals and painted colours. This one does obviously take a front hitch, front 3-point or a selection of weights, all sorts of tyre choices, including narrow, because you know what small tractor wouldn't be complete without narrow tyres. And yeah, got some nice wide Mitas there. Got the Nokian, standard and wide, Michelin, yeah, and the Trelleborg. It does do jewels on the rear, and those honking great big flotation tyres. They're just too cool not to show off. But yeah, forestry grid. You got the front engine guard there, and the full-on forestry cage and everything. Very cool little tractor. Now this one has a few engine choices, but they're basically the same, just with different badges and decals and whatnot. So you've got the 461 DX version, which is 88 horsepower, and you've got a 95 horsepower version, and the 100 horsepower DX78 turbo. And then if you keep going along, it resets to an AgroStar 461 88 horsepower, and then back up to the 478 AgroStar. But the decals on the side change as well, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a 100 horsepower tractor for less than 30 grand, with a bunch of expensive specialised odds and ends on it. You can't beat that. That's just too good to miss. So let's go back to the field of sheds and see what's next. But yeah, I do like that. That is pretty much my go-to cheap small tractor. You just can't beat that for the price. So next, what are we going to do next? Let's go for this shed. This little tiny tin shed. See what's in here. Now this one might surprise you, because it's one that gets overlooked quite a lot. If I can get close enough to open the door. I say door, it sounds like a portcullis or something, a drawbridge. Now this little thing is the Aebi TT281 Plus. Let's hop in and have a look. Now this is part of the Alpine expansion, so it's by Giant Software. Started up, very modern looking, fancy Swiss little tractor. It's got a digital display. It's probably a multifunction touch panel type thing. And let's get out here into the sunlight. Now this, I want to say, has a bit over 100 horsepower. Let's take a look. Now this is a diddy little tractor. And I like this partly because it's humorous. It's kind of an odd design for, compared to most of the other tractors you see over there. It's almost like a cross between a telehandler, I guess, and a because of the way the cab's off to the side like that. But yeah, it's got all-wheel steer, which is very handy, so it turns in an even smaller turning circle than that little Deutz does. But this thing drives like a go-kart. It only goes up to 26 miles an hour, but it'll zoom around like a crazy little thing. It is really, really cool. It's a humorous little tractor, this. Very capable though. I was just going to pop out here and demonstrate one of its interesting features. And we'll run into that first, but what we're going to do is pick up this weight. And now the interesting thing about this tractor is the 3-point link. Now if you watch that front 3-point link, you can actually move it from side to side. That's the only tractor I know of that you can do that with. Now I'm not sure entirely how much use it would be in the long run, but I'm thinking that because this is an Alpine tractor, when you're going up a hill, in order to avoid tipping over, if you have a weight on the front like we do at the moment, ironically, let's whiz over here to a little bit of a hill. That's right, there was one just behind the sheds, wasn't it? To avoid sort of tipping down the side of it, you could slide the weight to the high side there and get your weight balance on. I suspect that's probably what it's for. I don't know, to be honest. I don't even know if that makes much of a difference in Farming Simulator terms. I've never tried to drive it sideways on a hill, like with a mower on the back or anything. But it's just like a really cool, neat little tractor. And I just like it. This is one of my little sort of favourite ones. I don't use it very much, but it's kind of a silly little gimmicky tractor in a way, but surprisingly handy and capable. Having that all-wheel steer also really helps. Oops, no, pop it down. No, don't keep picking it up. Let go. There we go. I think I have a sticky button. But yeah, let's get out of there, go park this over by the others and have a quick look in the shop. See what we got. Yeah, and you can see right away how absolutely tiny this thing is compared to these other tractors. I mean, it's like a little go-kart kind of a thing. It's hilarious, it really is. So yes, to the shop we go. Okay, so here we are. You can see here it's 92,000 for 109 horsepower. There's not much you can actually change with this one. You've got colour options, you've got all the standard palettes plus the default red that it comes with. So, you know, if you have a New Holland farm, for example, you could match it blue with that, or Ford. The only other choice you got is the tyres and the wheel brand. Just cycle through a few of them. Yeah, it's got little dual wheels on it, which are quite cool. I went for the Trelleborg lawn tyres. That's what I popped on it, because I thought those were kind of cool. Yeah, it'd be a good mowing tractor. Yeah, pick some small mowers perhaps. But yeah, it's a lovely little tractor. It's hilarious fun to drive. It looks like it's got kind of a frog on the roof there with those lights. But it's a very, very nice little tractor. Do enjoy that. So back to the field of sheds we go. All right, let's hop out of this. And yeah, I mean that's just it's just so tiny. I mean these are small tractors. These are all small tractors, and yet that thing's tiny. So the last shed. Now again, same as with the Deutz-Fahr back there. This does have two versions of the same tractor in it. So let's open the doors. Let's open the doors. There we go. And see what's inside. And here it is. This is the Ursus C355. And this one on the other side is the C360. Yes, there we go. And there is the same tractor, just with different engines in it. But let's hop on this one, start her up and see how she sounds. Lovely. Very simple, sort of, not exactly in-cab, more on-seat design. Lovely little speedometer and rev counter there. I think that's just a rev counter, possibly. It's like puttering away. Let's have a look. This is just a gorgeous little Ursus tractor. It was made in the 70s at their plant in Warsaw, I believe. It's as old small tractors go, I just absolutely adore this one. It is one of my very, very favourites. It's got a good sounding engine to it. You know, it's not the biggest, it's not the fastest, it may not even be the best, but I like it. You know, it drives really well. It's a very well put together mod. You can see the way the wheels tip and bend, and not bend, but you know, the suspension, the way that works. Everything like that. It's just a very solid, well put together little tractor, this. Yeah, it's only goes up to 57 horsepower. I think this is like a 53 horsepower, 43, 45, something like that. Even this is almost bigger than that little Aebi. That's hilarious. That is literally hilarious. Okay, let's get the other one out quick too. Now the reason I got two with these is obviously just to showcase the options a bit. This is the C360 version. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, obviously this has the front loader on it. Bit of a slow lift one, and it's got the... oops, those are the lights. Oh, nice yellow lights there. Just goes to show how old it is. Very cool. Where is it? There we go. It's got the drop and release bucket system on it, because it's an older front loader setup. but it does work pretty well, and it does also come with a version that takes the modern tools. But there's so many options with this tractor, or this mod rather I should say, and it is the Ursus C355/C55M or 355M/C360/3P 4x2 by Driver 300 and Grakian 26. And I will have the names of these in the description, obviously, and they are all Mod Hub available, or the Aebi comes with Giants expansion. This has some slightly different tyres on it, as you can see, and a bigger engine. This is the 50-some horsepower one. And again, it's just a lovely little old tractor. Bit of a cab on it. Have a quick. It's basically the same interior, slightly different steering wheel. You can see the throttle moving. Well, you can't see the pedal moving, but you can see the. Is that the throttle? Or is that, oh no, it's a steering arm. There you go. That's cool. But yeah, it's just a lovely little tractor, this. Yeah, like I say, as the older tractors go, one of my favourites. In fact, I think this is probably my favourite of the old small tractors. And that's actually saying something, because there's so many of them, it's really hard to choose from. There's such a lot of really good small tractors out there. There we go. Let's have a look at it in the shop. Okay, here we are in the shop now, and this is the standard base model version. 18 grand, 45 horsepower. Pretty simple little tractor. There's not a lot to it there. Let's get into the engine first, do that. So yeah, we've got the 355-1, 355-2, which changes some decals. It changes the seat as well. Yeah, decals on the 2. 355MI, I guess, has a different seat on it. And yeah, that's a slightly more modern version. Still 45 horsepower. And then we go the M2. What did that change? Oh, that changes the decals. And then you've got the C360, which goes up to 52 horsepower. And again, we've got some decal and seat options, I think, with that. Oh no, it doesn't have any seat options. It just changes the decals. And yeah, it is 52 horsepower. A whopping great big 52 horsepower. Then we've got the front loader attacher, and this comes with its own specialised one, because it's part of the tractor set. You can see it's got like a frame underneath and everything. Very, very cool mod, this. The front end only has weights on it, because it's an old tractor. You wouldn't expect it to have a 3-point link on this. See design. Oh yeah, you can have some visual aids and things like that, mud flaps and whatnot. Very cool. Now the wheels are interesting, because you've got R18s, then you've got Type 2 R18s, I guess, different tread on them. Then you've got R16s, slightly smaller ones. And again, the 2s have the different tread. And then you've got these ones, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because I know I'll get it wrong. These obviously you saw on the second tractor, because they go up to the twins on the rear. They've got weights. There's sort of different weight options and style options in the twin rears. And then like a different tread pattern. There's a slightly rounded rear tyre on that one. And there is a 4-wheel drive version of this as well. It's a different mod. I could technically have put that in too, but I kind of prefer the 2-wheel version because I'm weird. I'm an oddball like that. But yeah, switch back to all the wheels are pretty much the same. Go through a selection of weights, and this one has narrow tyres on it as well. Very handy. Colour choice is pretty immense. Let's have a quick look. The wheels, obviously it's a fairly muted palette. I would imagine these are fairly like original colours. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen some pictures of these that have this sort of colour choices. I've got a nice sort of steel wheel, or galvanised wheel there. Main colour, there's a lot of yellows and reds and a couple of blues. I think there's some greens in there as well. So you can customise it pretty good.
The design colour obviously does the sort of engine paint and everything. It's just blacks and greys and blues. But yeah, you can mix and match a little bit. Some of the oh yeah, those are the slightly darker galvanised, but yeah, you can get some greys, mix and match with things. Put some red. I don't know if it has green wheels. No, I don't want to buy it. I've already bought one. Yeah, all sorts of different options. It's very cool. And but then comes the interesting part. As you saw, the other one had a cab on it, so you got this whole selection of interesting cab choices. Some of them are coloured in various different ways. Some of them are just standard grey. You've got some sort of slightly more red ones. I think these are all sort of options that they came with. You had a choice of these different types of cabs, and I don't know if it's changing anything else in there, but it's just a great little tractor. There's so many options on here, things you can customize, mix and match together, and eventually come back to that. But yeah, so back to the sheds we go, and that's it. These are my top 5 plus the one bonus one on the end there. My top 5, I know there's more than 5, it's 2 of the same. Top 5 favourite small tractors of Farming Simulator 19. And with that, if you've enjoyed whatever this was, then please give us a like and hit subscribe too if you haven't already. And comments are always welcome. If you have suggestions for other good small tractors, everyone's different. I'm not going to call these the best because that's very subjective. But yeah, comments are always welcome, and sharing this video would be greatly appreciated. And above all else, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Cheerio.